In the start of this movie, we see a man named Zilong who could not see. But here he was playing a gambling game with some people. The surprising thing was that he was very good at this game and was going to win a lot of money. But his opponents tried to cheat him blind and increase the bets. Zilong finds out about his tricks, but he could not do anything according to the rules. So he loses a lot of money here. A man comes and gets angry with the trading people. Chu Fang was the owner of the gambling club. He apologizes to Zilong and invites him to keep playing. But Zilong had already lost a lot of money, so he goes from there saying no thanks. When he was going home, some people stopped him on the way. And then we found out that it was Chu Fang and his gang who attacked Zilong, but still he defeats them easily, after which he asks about a girl named Nian from Chu Fang, and no one knew where she is. With this, the scene shifts and we are shown a month ago. When Zilong was a wanderer, he comes to a city where people used to hire strong fighters to catch the old people, so that they can keep the city safe. Here Zilong, who was very tired, decides to take a break. And following her, he reaches home, and there he met a beautiful girl named Nian for the first time, who asked him the reason for coming there, on which Zilong tells him that he wants to buy some delicious wine, but Nian tells him that he is not going to sell it because they were going to serve that wine at his wedding party. Zilong decides that it is better to go from here. But when Nian realizes that Zilong is blind, he feels very bad for him and gives him some wine bottles. When Nian ties those bottles to Zilong's hair, she gets shocked by a big bag hanging there because it looked like someone was in it. Then Zilong tells her that there is a criminal in it who had run away. That means he was also a warrior who caught criminals for money. Meanwhile, we see that the wedding party starts and guests start coming there. Nian and his husband looked very happy. But suddenly the atmosphere gets tense when a man named Niju comes there. Niju was actually Nian's elder brother and he was also a warrior. Here he behaves a little weird. Instead of being happy at his sister's wedding and seeing his behavior, all the guests leave from there. After everyone leaves, Niju comes to Zilong, who was sitting alone and drinking. Niju tries to scare him too, but it has no use and Zilong ignores him. After which he goes to the place where his horse was tied. But now, because he was very drunk, he sleeps there. On the same night, when his eyes open, he goes to the same place where Nian was getting married. But he meets Nian's husband, who is dead. Zilong now starts searching for Nian, who finds him lying in a place. And with this, we see the story of 4 hours ago, where we see Chu Feng and his gang, who attacked Nian's wedding reception. We also see the boss of Chu Feng, Yuan Ying, who orders Chu Feng to kill Niju and Niyan's husband. After killing them, they start to force Niyan. Here, Zilong takes care of Niyan, and now he decided that he will help Niyan to take revenge from Yuan and Chu Feng. The next day, Zilong takes the criminal he caught and goes to Mr. Gao, who was the mayor of the city. And it was his responsibility to keep this security in the city. And with the help of his extinct, the assassination attempt on the village was also failed, which was done by his own man. After taking the reward money, Zilong also tells Mr. Gao about the murder incident at Nian's house. After hearing this, Mr. Gao immediately investigates the incident where he gets an arrow, which was the identity of the Young family. Mr. Gao tells him that the Young family is from a good family and he could not do anything against it. And he says not to take revenge because Nian will never be able to defeat him. But when Nian refuses to listen to him, then Gao had no other option but to arrest him in the charge of defaming the Ying family. When Mr. Gao and his men were taking Nian to court, Zilong stopped them, and he tells Mr. Gao to release Nian because he was innocent and a victim of that incident. But now because Mr. Gao insisted on sending Nian to jail, Zilong starts fighting him. He kills those government officials in a short time. And he tells Nian to free him and take him away from there. But Nian does not go away from there. And she tells Zilong to help him take revenge from the UN. Zilong agrees to this. In the next scene, we see that they both reach the royal capital. And they stay at a restaurant for a few days to rest and have dinner. Here, Nian tells Zilong that she wants to report this incident to the security force of the royal capital, on which Zilong tells him to be careful. to meet a lady named Zilong Tin Nyang, who was actually Zilong's partner and often gave him important information, because of which his job became easy to catch criminals, and in return he gave some money to Chin. After this, Chin tells Zilong about a new mission in which he had to catch a high-profile fugitive who was the most powerful criminal in the city, who tells him that this mission is very difficult, but in return, he will get a lot of money. His fees were so high that with that money, Zilong could have eye treatment, with which he could see again. After a while, two men come to Chin's house with an injured man, and here Zilong finds out that the injured man was one of the bodyguards of the Ying family. The man tells Chin that the young man was going to marry General Koch's daughter, but a girl comes to his engagement party who attacks the young man and injures him, and during all this, he was also injured. Zilong also found out that the girl was not anyone else but Nian. Now because that man calls Nian crazy, Zilong teaches him to talk too carelessly. Zilong knows that the girl who attacked Yuan family. Chen tells him to stay away from that girl and warns him not to go against Ying family because Ying family was the most powerful and influential family in the city. But after seeing Zilong, he was not feeling that he was going to take the warning seriously. And he goes to the house of Yuan to find Nian, but he does not find her there because Yuan arrested him and put him in jail. And with this scene shifts to the present time after a month, where Jufeng was helpless in front of Zilong, after which he tells him about Nian's location. So Zilong quickly goes there and saves him. Jin, who was a healer, saw the injured Nian and started treating him. He knew what would be the consequences of helping Nian. But still, Jin helped Zilong in taking Nian to a safe place because living in that city was not an empty threat for him. So he sends them both to Chufeng, who had kept him in a safe place. Zilong starts investigating why Yuan had killed Nian, that if he wants to marry her, he will have to give her the Nightpal pendant as an engagement gift, which was being tried by the Yuan. And then he found out that the pendant was actually the treasure of the dead Emperor Han. So the Yuan had ordered some tomb raiders to find the Nightpal pendant, which was buried with the Emperor. And the Yuan did not want the empire to know about his work, so he had all the tomb raiders killed. And Niju was also included in them. After getting this information, and he ties her up with a rope that was tied to the door, and he leaves from there. In the next scene, we see that when Yuan comes there, as soon as he opens the door, the rope that was tied to the neck of the Chufeng cuts her throat, which kills her there. Because of the death of Zilong's trusted companion, he immediately orders to start an investigation on it, and he asks to find out the mastermind behind it. Then he finds out that Qin is also involved in this, so he orders his companions to arrest him, to find out about the identity of the Chinese. He had freed Nian and killed many of his friends. Then China tells him that Zilong was a powerful warrior of the battlefield, but due to some dangerous disease, his eyesight was damaged, but his fighting ability was still intact. On the other hand, Zilong goes to General Ko's house because he wanted to tell him about the UN. But General Ko orders his people to kill Zilong instead of saying anything to the UN. And then he goes to meet the general again. But he faces the bodyguard of General Ko now because Zilong did not come there for the fight. He warns General about UN, who was going to be his son-in-law. But he was an old man. General Ko, who was listening to him from inside the room, he tells Zilong what proof he has. Zilong tells him about crimes against Nian and his family, and despite this, General does not believe him. Still, Zilong says that he is going to kill Yuan. In the next scene, we see that a soldier of the general comes to Yuan's family with a message that he has broken his daughter's engagement with Yuan. Hearing this, Yuan's elder brother gets angry and starts killing Yuan. Due to this bad treatment, Yuan gets angry and he takes out his sword and kills his own brother. The next day, everyone gets shocked when they get the dead body of Qin, which was killed in a very bad way. He is attacked by the bodyguards of the young man, but the young man starts to kill them one by one, and after a very strong fight, he defeats them. When he comes inside, he is faced with a female bodyguard of the young man who was a very good fighter. Although she gives Zilong a very tough time, but still he succeeds in defeating her. because he couldn't predict where is Yuan who was attacking him secretly. But Zilong was very angry because Yuan killed Qin. He again stands up to face him, and finally he finds out his location, after which he defeats him in a short time. When Yuan tries to escape from there, Zilong couldn't stay quiet. He stabs him and kills him. And finally he succeeded in taking revenge for Qin's death and Nian's death, and tells her that she has killed her husband and her husband. Because of this, she becomes very happy and now she can start a new life. With this movie ends. Thank you so much for watching.